Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the Creator Podcast, which is the name that I have decided to call this podcast, as it is mainly about creating. So, thank you very much for tuning in, wherever you are tuning in from, and whoever you are. If you have magically found this podcast via the beauty of the internet or through search results somehow randomly and stumbled across my podcast, or perhaps you are a creator and you have typed that search term in, or you are most likely, though, probably just my close friends and family, or indeed my future self listening to this, in which case, hello, future me. So essentially, guys, there is some fantastic news. Since the first podcast, which I believe I was telling you that I was planning on making my new channel, Hot Cuppa Jordan, which I was currently working on. So at that time, which was just a few days ago, now that channel is up and running. It is live. The engine is fired up. The fuel is cooking, and it is running pretty great, actually. I love it, everything about it so far. So we have 3 videos up already on the channel. That's been a video every single day, and there is also going to be a video in the coming days on that channel also. So yes, lots of content to be releasing for that channel. I'm super excited for the direction that channel is going to be taking. As you can see, anyone who has gone and visited on that channel, and I will make sure I leave a link in this podcast to the new channel in order for you guys to go and check it out if you are on this channel here. If you have discovered this podcast and you are wishing to potentially go and check out my actual high value content, the highest value content that I am putting out onto that channel with much higher quality, full 4K videos and high definition, filmed in 4K and then downscaled to 1080p with professional mics and so on and so forth. So and that is actually the juice and the meat of my content. This channel here is really just my personal channel, which I am doing like a little side podcast on in order to get used to podcasting, because I'm going to be creating a brand new fully professional high quality podcast on the new channel, which I can't wait for. I'm so excited. I've got a lot of topics that I'm going to be discussing on there, lots of interesting topics, including AI, branding, technology, smartphones and mobile devices, and the future of that, where I think it's going, along with content creation on YouTube, social media, and internet online platforms, and the brand building and business side of things, the future of business and brand building, as well as photography and videography, and the depths of what that industry has to offer, and essentially all of my tips, all of my knowledge, my expertise and know-how, and all of the vital key things that I think I can discuss and share with you and to the audience, in order to share my value. Because guys, this is what it's all about. Everything I am doing here on this and that main channel mainly, and my main brands. So I have one brand and 2 channels. So that my brand is the Hot Cuppa brand. My channels are Hot Cuppa TV and Hot Cuppa Jordan. One is my gaming and tech channel, and the other one is my business and branding and photography channel. So it is all about these channels, these brands, if you will, and building a brand, building any business. And this is what I recommend for you or anyone listening to this who is, building your own business as well, or are interested in building a business. It is all about, of course, you want to be sharing and giving knowledge to the world, giving your expertise, giving a service, offering something of value for free and not expecting anything from it. And that is the foundation and heart of a great business, because You don't just want to be asking and trying to take from the world. You want to be offering value and contributing to the world and becoming an indispensable member of the community. And then people will come to you for knowledge. You will fill a certain gap. You will answer a certain question. You shall fulfill a specific niche, and people will appreciate that, and that's then builds trust. It gives you value, and it builds trust with them, your audience, the people in this world who need an answer for the specific question, the specific skill that you hold. All of us hold a specific skill, even if you don't necessarily know you have one or think you have it yet, or perhaps you don't have much confidence in yourself. There's all kinds of people, and some of us have high confidence and some of us have low confidence. I myself have experienced both in my life, and I have been through many phases, and I believe that everybody has something very highly valuable, whether you particularly know it or not. So the best thing is to really discover it, and if you already know it, of course, you will know that this is your main, one or two passions that you just know a lot about, and you would be able to you cannot stop talking about it. You feel love and joy even just doing it. It gets you up in the morning. You feel like if you had your dream way, you would probably do that for the rest of your life if you could earn money from that, if that could be your business. Well, I'm trying to tell you that it is worth always pursuing that, and spending a little bit of time on it every day if you can, and at least every week. And if you find yourself putting a few hours of time aside and going to do that, you'll find it pumps the rest of the whole of your week with energy, and you feel absolutely motivated every day to wake up and even go to work. Even if, for example, you are working at a job that you don't necessarily love, you will feel a kind of itch to get up and then go to that job, knowing that you have put that time aside of the week for when that comes, and you will be able to focus on your passion and your goals and building your dreams. So now the value that you will give from I suggest this whole content, and especially my other main channel I'm working on right now, Hot Cuppa Jordan, is specializing in branding, and I do strongly recommend anyone listening to this podcast strongly thinks about, and you probably will learn about this more in future podcasts if you are going to be listening to these and my future podcasts more, and especially if you're watching any of the videos on that channel. In fact, the next video, my fourth video on that channel that I am planning on releasing, is going to be about branding. Actually, it's an in-depth video where I talk about why I think branding is mega important and extremely overlooked and underestimated in terms of everyone that needs a brand in this modern day, or particularly business people or people who are looking at trying to build their own business. So now going back a little bit is the fact that we all have a value, something very, very valuable, so that no one else actually can give except from us. If we can find that, usually it's something that, like I said, that we're passionate about, then what we want to do is start creating a brand based around that, or giving knowledge and giving value based around that. Okay, especially if you wish to build a brand, because first of all, you're going to enjoy it. So you're going to be filled with enough energy to be able to do that. And then you won't run out of energy either. You will have an urge to continue doing it. And the more you do it, the more you'll find energy that comes out of nowhere, giving you energy in your life, in your spare time, when you are, besides the time that you are working to do this. And secondly, you will be giving value. What I mean by that to the world is you'll be answering people, like I say, people's missing pieces of knowledge, or missing things that they have in their life that you are able to give to them. So, for example, You know, you might be a really good sports and nutrition coach. You might be very, very good at keeping yourself in very healthy shape and in good nutrition. But there's people in, do you know how many? I mean, just look at the world of how many people are not nourished or in good shape, right? You know, you can bring, therefore, you of value to many, many people. And there's this misconception, it's kind of a very misconstrued thing that most people think. Let me know if you guys think this as well, right? If any of you listening to this podcast think, oh, well, you know, it's already an oversaturated market. You know, there's millions of fitness professionals out there, influencers, coaches, and there's far too many, you know, there's already way too many people. Why would I go to try and do that? There's already many people answering that for people, and there's already enough coaches coaching people and fulfilling those needs and those questions. Well, yes, but you gotta look at it like this. Look how many people have the problem. All right, in the world, there's so many more people who actually have this problem and are in need of solutions for it than there are coaches and there are answers. So, you know, there's so much demand. So you've got to look at supply and demand. There's in terms of business, it's all about supply and demand. You know, it's often needs to be calculated when you're going to look to sell something or to create a product to sell. However, if you're giving value, it is also about supply and demand. So if you're just giving away something for free, if you wish to be giving away, contributing to society and contributing your value, then you need to be you need to consider that. Well, yes, you would need to consider that essentially there is a demand for certain questions, certain needs that need fulfilling. Now, if you go even deeper into that, of course, you can hit the lower and underserved niches. So yes, of course, there's for example loads about fitness, but if you go into a subsection, a niche of that, which this is where most people's unique things come into play. You know, unique skills, unique habits, or unique hobbies come into actual play here. Because, for example, you go a bit deeper, yoga, let's say, for example, is an incredibly beneficial, exercise and, skill and knowledge to have in the world, okay? And if you know even a little bit about it, that's such an underserved niche with so much demand, that you would be able to give your yoga knowledge and advice to people, or you'll be able to share, you know, your passion for that, and by doing that, you'll be able to very much give so much value to many people who who need that and who could benefit from that. But yeah, going even deeper, for example, you know, there may be a subset of niches. So, for example, you have fitness, nutrition, then you would have, for example, something like yoga, but then you might have, I don't know, a very unusual sport that you are into, and that you have a lot of knowledge about, or you know how to play. You know, you might love talking about that sport and everything that you know about it. And you could be offering, and just, you could be creating content, for example, or building a brand based around your knowledge about that sport. You know, it has to be something that you're passionate about, that you can give great value about. And, not as many people as you think would be really giving that kind of expertise and knowledge, you know, because it's something that you are really passionate about and that you've been doing your whole life. You know, I don't know, let's say it's badminton, you know, how many badminton brands specializing out there, and even if there are, how many of them are as passionate as you are, and how many of them have the depth of knowledge that you have in this particular sport and can talk about it as much as you know. Now, it could be badminton is just one example, but it could be many things. So anyway, guys, I hope that has been an interesting little thought-provoking podcast here. And as it is late at night, because I'm recording these podcasts after literally a day of creating many videos, and a day of also, you know, I've got things to consider as well. I've got work that I'm doing. I'm here in London, so all of this content creation is alongside my work. and my main jobs that I do here. So I'm finding time and energy to do that because I'm pumped with energy, because I'm doing something that I love and I'm passionate about. And I'm also passionate about eventually in the future, when the time is ripe and ready to and when things are ready, that you can quit your 9 to 5 job. And this applies to anyone, absolutely anyone, who wishes to pursue in favor of a lifestyle of their own passions that they love instead. So anyway, guys, it is a little bit late here now, so I'm running out of energy and I am a little bit tired. That you may be able to hear it in my voice, but I really hope that you guys have gained a little bit and extracted a little bit of joy and value out of listening to this podcast, wherever you are listening to it from. It may be the gym, or it may be, I don't know, you might be commuting right now, you might be walking to the shops. Whatever the case may be, if you're cooking in the kitchen, I would just like to thank you for tuning in to this podcast. Thank you very much for listening to this. Now, this podcast has been the second podcast of the Creator Podcast, focusing on mainly a little in-depth, little knowledge nugget about branding and why it is important to fuel your passions and to fuel what you love in your life, to drive you and your desires more to do what you want to do. And as well as to be able to, if you're looking to make money, build a business around that also. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Leave your suggestions and comments, any comments you might have or thoughts you may have about this in the comment section below. I'd love to start a conversation about it and hear any of your thoughts that any of you may have. And also, the last thing is that if you have listened to this all the way through, I don't know how long this is right now. I think it's let me check out here on my phone. And yeah, if you have listened, wow, it's okay. So it's kind of a short one, 17 minutes. That's great. I wanted to make my podcast relatively short on here. Then yeah, go ahead and leave the word espresso. Type the word espresso into the comment section, just so that I know that you have listened to it this far, which is all the way up to 18 minutes now. I would like to thank you for listening all the way to the end, and I'm very grateful. Thank you very much, anyone who has tuned in, and I really look forward to seeing you again in the next Creator Podcast here on this channel, which is my personal channel. And thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day, and leave your thoughts below, and we'll speak to you guys soon in the next podcast. Thank you guys, and take care.